What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to Sunless Sea. My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today as we leave from Frostfound, I guess, which is, we're trying to get up into the northeast. We're trying to locate a couple of really good locations that are going to be useful later on. They may be more randomized than I thought they were, though. Like, the last time that I played, I thought that Mount Palmerston was more or less, like, kind of in the same vicinity every single time. However, I appear to maybe have been wrong about that. So we'll just have to see how this whole thing goes. We want to watch out for snow. Teneb is to the east. I don't think I want to go any further to the east. I think we're actually going to try and stick this out to the west. I believe there should be something over here. Yeah, there it is right there. And so every time you see snow, you need to be careful, though. It's not even snow, I don't think. I think it's ash or something like that. It chokes up all of your boilers or whatever. It makes you go really slow and use like twice as much fuel. It can become a giant pain in the ass. Oh, no, it is snow. Okay. It sweeps down from the north, and the ship's engines labor against it. I don't want to go to Teneb, though. That's the problem with this whole thing, is that Teneb doesn't do much for me. We could have technically swung around, I guess. Let me take a look at our map real fast. Try and figure out where the hell we're at. I think going further north might be the call. I just don't know. I just do not know. Mount Palmerston could be just about anywhere as of right now. I was a little bit I don't know if I really like the game better when it had like a static map, or if I like it better now that it's randomly generated somewhere in between. It's kind of like one of those preference things, I guess. There we go. Turn the engines on. We got this thing. Let's get the hell out of here. On the horizon, a sickly yellow light glimmers for a moment and then fades. There are no islands within your bat's range. That is very unfortunate, because I need my bat to find something for me like right this second. The lack of things around us is driving me a batty, you might say. And so he must fly out there and handle this problem for me. We can go to Chang'e Rift. We could also cut further north. I mean, I guess we did a pretty good job on that run. Like, we hit a lot of stuff in there. So I think the next thing we should probably do... Let's go to Codex and then to Wither. Once you got Codex and Wither, I think, how much fuel do we have? 12? Well, it might be a little bit close, but we're going to go to Codex and Wither. Upon doing that, we're going to come back and we're going to hit this all, like, kind of southwards, I guess, all the way down to see what we can uncover, because there might be something in there that'll be useful for us for later. How many secrets do we have on us right now? Because secrets are no fun. Let's go. We got 5 secrets right now, so technically if we wanted to, if you wanted to level up, you can speak to these guys. And so you can invite him to dine with you, or you can increase your veils like so. It takes 1 secret and you get 1 veil. I actually always thought that you should get 2 for 1, just because leveling up in this game, you get some pretty good officers later on, especially after some of them do their quests. They become much better. But simultaneously, it's pretty difficult to level up a character in this game to be good at just about everything. You basically got to pick like 1 pot to throw all of your carrots and potatoes in and hope that that's good enough. And so on this left-hand side, is this Codex? Yes, this is Codex. Okay, so now that we found Codex, we're going to get the port report from here. We're going to get the port report from in Wither. We're going to go out the other way, and then we should have enough fuel to make it all the way back down south to London. We will try very much so to go back to Hunter's Point as well, so that we can turn in the news to get a little bit of our terror taken down, and then a little bit of our hunger as well, but that's kind of like an optional right there. So there's the port report. We already got that taken care of. We'll set out real fast. If you didn't know, the game saves every time you go in port, so if you're trying to save scum, if you don't like the decisions that you've made, you can go into port, and then you can just like control that delete or like exit the game and come back whenever you want. I mean, it is what it is. I don't do it, especially not for a YouTube series. I'll do it if I'm playing by myself and I just kind of like want to see what happens with a group of events. So let's say I've got like a 10% chance of succeeding and I'm just playing for fun on my laptop or whatever while I watch a movie. I'll sit there and I'll save scum it out just to see what the win condition is and see what you get when you win, because I don't feel like wicking it. I mean, it's basically the same thing as wicking it. It's just kind of like doing it yourself. But for a YouTube series, I always try and leave everything very uncut and very uncheaty. So we can go to the House of the Question. Northwest of Withertown, the House of the Question stands alone. Here the initiates of the house make offerings to the 3 gods of the deep sea, and perhaps a 4th who is not a god. It's the one place in Wither where you can sometimes get a straight answer for a price. Gain Salt's attention. The walls around Salt's shrine, so we need a secret, a Z story, 10 echoes, and we can't have Defiant. Okay. So basically what you could do is you can come in here, and Defiant is an option you can play. It's kind of like playing the game hard mode. And so you can go into the cathedral where all the gods dwell, and you can spit on the floor, curse the priest, and overturn the altar. And this will raise a bunch of your stats up by a whole bunch, and it'll set your terror to 0. But you will never be able to get rid of any of the curses that you gain, which normally there's a way to dispel the curse. And you can never have a God's Blessing either for the entire game. So based on the way that you look at it, it could actually be a buff or a debuff. Never done it before. I've thought about doing it, but haven't. We can explore the town a little bit further. Let's explore again, see if we can get a new event. We got an intriguing smell, so it's the troglodyte prawns again. Let's go ahead and 15% chance with something mysterious, 31 with that one. Let's just do the troglodyte prawns again. We lost 2 terror, we gained a fragment, we lost a little bit of hunger, and so we've been knocked down to a replete. That's cool, whatever. And then we could also do gather intelligence. There it is right there. We got that taken care of. And now we bounce on out. And I'm going to try and stay close to shore for right now. Terror is not so bad at the moment. And so basically what I'm going to try and do now is every time we have no terror on this meter, I'm going to alternate the lights. And so we're at Censor's Arch for right now, which means that we need to hang an Eastie really, really hard. And once we've hung an Eastie, they can call us the Eastie Boys, I guess. That's going to be the nickname for our entire crew. Enter the Eastie Boys. And so off to the east, better the Eastie than the Yeastie. And then we'll turn off our lamp to save fuel because we do have quite a long voyage in front of us. We're still not finished. We're still uncovering the map. The game gets a lot more interesting once you've actually... There's kind of like phases to this game, I guess, where like you spend some time scouting the map. Once it's been scouted from that point forward, you're then trying to... Oh, we got a bunch of it up here, don't we? Okay. So let's wait. I was talking about terror. That's if you're wondering what I was talking about. Let's get the lamps turned on right there so that when we make sure with this little island over here, I always like to make sure. I'm one of those people that has to have no doubt in my mind. And so down to the south we go, cutting around the side of this. And I think we should be able to lock things down. I mean, I'm really, really hoping that there's not anything... If we've got ourselves just like blank space down here, it'll be disappointing. And so there's no island. I think it might actually be. There's a maelstrom over there. I don't know if I unlocked it or not. Dust echoes even a sepia tint to the air. These are the waters around the tomb colonies. Okay, we'll check over on this side now. We got plenty of fuel, plenty of supplies, so we might as well make sure. There's nothing over here, so now we want to cut a hard south. It looks like there's a monster over there anyway, so we'll be careful about it. Yeah, it looks like we got ourselves a big old crab off on that side. The lucky thing here is that he's so big that he's pretty slow. So, not good at the book learning, not very good at math, also not good at chasing us. Pretty terrible at all things other than being enormous. So let's head south right here. This should have allowed us to clear out this weird phallic shape of clouds down here. And then, well, maybe it's not, it's kind of turret shaped, I guess. I suppose something like vaguely Freudian is occurring right now, and I'll do my best to deny it, but there's not much that I could do. Continuing southwards to see what we can find along the way. When we get lined up with London, we might give that a go to try and get back in there, or at least with Hunter's Keep. There might be something down here. We're traveling the distance that we're going to go anyways, and so, you know, we'll get our Hercules on and be like, I can go the distance, I'll be in my way. Please don't sue me, Disney. That's the labyrinth of eels. Makes me feel those feels. Some more shitty bats over there. Out here, shitty bats. Ain't nobody want what you have. Bats always messing with me, ruining my life, messing up my hole, making me look stupid on camera. Go away. I don't like it when rodents make me look foolish. It makes me feel very, very sad and foolish. I don't know if I mentioned that already. Let's go ahead and fire out a bat real quick. We actually fire the bat out of a cannon. He's kind of like a boomerang. You call him a batarang if it wouldn't get me sued by DC. Anyways, we're lined up with Hunter's Keep right now. Hopefully we'll find something new and interesting off on this side. Don't think we're going to be able to get into that light radius by the time we tick over another fear. Yeah, unfortunate. But it happens. We've got the Born Vetus Pillar. I have no idea what that is. It looks like we've discovered Patrick's Lot. Okay. What is Patrick's Lot? Does Patrick's Lot have, like, a location where we can chill for a bit? Turn off my lamp real quick. Save myself a little bit of fuel while we dig down through here. Oh, it looks like they got like a volcano or Massey's Shaft. Okay, well, we've inspected Massey's Shaft, so good for Massey, I guess. I don't know why we're so intent on it, but I guess it happened. It's a thing that has occurred during the course of our adventures, and so I suppose we'll accept it for now. We got something else over here. What is this? Oop. Got ourselves a pirate on that side. Probably want to watch out for him. He may be able to wound us badly. He also appears to be faster than us. He has 10 crew. Okay, and what is this? Guider's Mourn. This is just going to lead into Guider's Mourn. Alright, well, I'm going to try and lose him around the outside of this island. I don't think he can fire through it. And if we can lose him right here, we've got Ekin Rock. It reminds me of Eek the Cat. You guys remember Eek the Cat? It was a cartoon when I was a kid. I don't know. Some people remember Eek the Cat with Sharky the Shark Dog. I don't know. It was one of those goofy cartoons from the early 90s that could only exist within the confines of the early 90s. Like, you could never recreate that experience. It's all clear. There's nothing after us right now. Stop it! Stop it right now. There we go. And so now we'll probably head over to Quaker's Haven. Is there anything else around that we didn't manage to find? I mean, there's a big blank space right here as far as the Fog of War goes, but if there's nothing in there, there's no point spending a lot of time on it. It looks like we got a little unlucky. So our next goal then, I would swear they may have changed it. I don't know. I thought that for sure Mount Palmerston was always in the same spot, like right here where the Ragged Crow normally is. And that appears to no longer be the case. There was also like an abbey up here or something like that where you could eat your fill or whatever. Like these little red cakes. Since we have no idea where some of this stuff is, we may be a bit of a vagabond for a while. It might just have to happen that way. I guess we'll turn back towards port for right now. We'll get resupplied. We'll get a little bit more fuel. We'll try and get rid of some of our fear when we go up into, yeah, Hunter's Point as well. But we're going to have to go back into London. That's what I was trying to avoid until we found some of the places that we needed. And so there's a campfire on the side of that island right there. That's a huge campfire. That's approaching the realm of bonfire. They have bonfires out here all the time because I live in an area where there's lots of like orchards. And so they have all the tree cuttings. And on burn days, it looks like the entire city's on fire. Because all the orchard farmers, I guess. Is there a special word for somebody that runs an orchard, or are they still just a farmer? Either way, all of the farmers, they burn their refuse on the same day, and it smokes up the entire town. Like, seriously, the entire sky will be orange for like 2 days whenever they do it. If they have like an especially very, very productive burn day. It doesn't happen super often, but it happens from time to time. We're going to go up to Hunter's Point first to give out some news and get rid of some of our terror, because it's a good plan to keep your terror below 50 for as long as possible. Turn the light back on while we're near to shore. Let that tick down a little bit. We'll turn it off as we leave the light radius right here. That Oriole, whatever you want to call it. Not the bird. Like there's an Oriole, like it's a word that starts with aura. A-U-R-E. I don't know how to spell it anymore. Either way, it's a college word. It's a word that I had to use all the time when I was typing up papers in geology because of contact Orioles and things like that. It's pretty much just like an area that radiates from a central area, I guess. It's the area that is kind of like creating an aura around another area. You could just say that, though. We're going to lunch in with Lucy. And so there it is. It's going to get rid of our hunger. And so Lucy leans over and explains we got the exact same thing right there. This time we lost terror, but we got Gods of the Z, Stone's attention. Didn't we already have Stone's attention? I am of the opinion that we already had that. Either way, apparently it's stacked up and it's a little bit worse than it was before. We got some free supplies, so for right now, we got those supplies, so let's fly with some guys, because London is nigh. Flying with guys is like half of what you do when you're in the Navy like this. In the Navy, you know, hanging out on a boat with a bunch of dudes. Just being like, what are we going to do when we get back to shore? This boat is kind of stinky. Smells like hamburger below deck. It's because we don't have a shower, and we're kind of afraid of what's in the water, so we can't really jump in there because we're not ballsy enough. I wouldn't jump into that water, not for a second. It's an entire ocean made out of black, terrifying water. I don't do dark water. Nope. Let's get into port. We got to get some more fuel. And unfortunately, we're going to get triggered with the first event. And so hopefully we don't get ourselves in too much trouble here. But RNG seems to be getting us with regards to how or where we're going to find Mount Palmerston. In we go. And so in the dock, there's a couple of things we need to do right here. The Alarming Scholar. Do I have anything for you? I have memories of distant shores that I can sell off. They're not worth much, though, so I probably won't. Let's go to the Admiralty first, I guess. So into London, we will go to the Admiralty, and let's make a little bit of money so that we can actually figure out like what our funds are going to be before we go any further. And so we went to Quaker's Haven. There's a little bit of fuel. We went to Wither. There's a little bit of fuel. We went to Station 3. So there's a little bit of fuel. And he gave us 100 echoes, so that's pretty cool. This is my colleague, Mr. Villain of the Ministry of Public Decency. Mr. Villain, this captain's report is here. If you would care to, yes, the fire is already lit. There we go. Now only ashes remain, and it might have caused such a lot of trouble. Thank you, Captain. We appreciate your discretion. Here's your payment. You need not trouble yourself further in this affair. So apparently that seems to have something to do with some subterfuge or espionage that's going on. We got paid well, so I don't care. We categorize it as a military installation, you know, although that has occasioned some quite vigorous debate. And so we got 1 fuel and 20 echoes from right there. The Cumæan Canal, we got ourselves 5 echoes, but not much else. Frost found. Is it as beautiful as they say? I doubt it. Poets are notorious liars, but liars make bad poets. A paradox, isn't it? Never mind. Your report. And so we got a favor right there. A little bit of extra fuel. Not as much money as I thought for something that was that far away. In Codex, we got ourselves 20 more and a little bit more fuel. Strategic information that we can give up. I think with strategic information, though, you're supposed to save it and combine it into something else. Let me take a look real fast, but I'm pretty sure if you right-click on this and you go with use. Yeah, if you go with use and you have, so there should be something here. We need 40 mirrors to make this work. We need 30. We already have the moves in the great game. And if we have 2 strategic information, so if we can get 1 more, and we use our moves in the great game, we use these 2 things together, then we get something really, really big out. And I forget what it is. It's called like a shattering revelation or something like that. And it's like a game-changing item. Like it's an item that you could trade for an almost infinite amount of money. It's an item that you can trade to complete like epic level quests and things like that. And so you sort of want to do that. You can also do the same thing with these right here. Essentially what it's implying is that using strategic information, you're able to glean the truth out of the stories that you know. But this, you're actually applying it to the real world. And so anyways, this is the one that you want to go after right here if you can. Pretty good stuff. Not going to turn it in. Some people will be frustrated by that. They'll be like, why don't you turn it in now? And I'll be like, well, because something good needs to happen for us. And so let's continue. Did I have any more port reports? Oh, we're done. We only have 248, so that left us with 10 fuel, which is not satisfactory. It left us low on supplies. Unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. We need to make some money, like, right now. Otherwise, we're going to get ourselves into trouble. I would hate to think that I have to give up my strategic information or anything like that. But a deplorable end. At the Parthenaeum Club, the Admiral dropped hints about your father and his deplorable end. What does the Admiral know? King Eater's Castle, the empty temple at the end of the world. Your father went there. No one makes the pilgrimage there if they intend to return. One way or another, they don't return home. I've heard that they stay. I've also heard that they go on somewhere even further. It's a regrettable place, Captain, the King Eater's Castle, and its pilgrims do regrettable things. If you go, do not take any who are dear to you. And so our quest continues. King Eater Castle. We didn't pick up any items for the Adventurer's Desires. In London, we may find ourselves... We could carouse for a little while, but it's expensive. Actually, it's only 10. That's not too bad. Yeah, let's carouse for a little bit, I guess. And so while carousing, sea shanties, good companionship, and the warmth of a pub fire. We lost 5 terror. We were fortunate. We lost 30. Oh, it said 10 and it charged us 30. Bastards. And so we lost another day of free evening. Aw, man. That's some boo right there. I'm pretty sure it said 10 echoes. Yeah, it said 10 echoes. What happened there? Is that just mislabeled? Is it a bug? That sucks. Did it charge me 10 or 30? Was anybody watching? I'll have to go back and watch the footage. Maybe we got to debate which one was right here, but I think it was the one that I think it charged us 30. I don't know. I'll have to check the footage. Unfortunate. And so we need supplies. So I'm going to take supplies up to a decent level. And then from there, I'm going to spend the rest on fuel. We don't really have anything to sell right now. We can go to Caminus Yards, and we do have torpedo parts. They're not worth anything, so there's not really any like major reason to do that. There's some new stuff in here, but unfortunately, we're not doing so well with regards to our cash. So... we kind of got to get on top of that. We need like something good to happen here. So if we go back to here, we have that right there. Okay, nothing else going on. Let's go ahead and leave port one more time. I'm going to go back down the Cumæan Canal and see if maybe we can wrangle ourselves another strategic information or something good from down there because we need the money. And then once we've done that, maybe head north. So we go to the Cumæan Canal. We get all the port reports down here, so we cut that way. Then we go northwards and just kind of like whittle out this area. The map is really, really huge, by the way, so we've only discovered like a very, very tiny corner of it. Now, there are certain areas that are not populated with events yet because they add the quadrant and they build the map before they actually populate it with events. And so sometimes you can sail out to these areas and it'll just be empty sea, or sometimes there'll be islands that you can discover but you can't interact with just yet. So keep that in mind. It is what it is. Let's speak to him real fast. We can increase our hearts. Let's ask him what he wants from life. Why did you go to sea? He looks you directly in the eyes. Seoli. He repeats it more slowly. Sea of Lilies. He licks his lips very slowly, and eventually you have to look away. The Sea of Lilies is somewhere in the east central Untersee. Okay. And then from this cat over here, let's ask him what he wants. We'll invite him to dine with us. Thanks for the meal and the company. No, no wine. It makes me sleepy. And oh yes, I can sleep too easily, and that's the problem. He hesitates. There's a draft I take nightly to substitute for sleep. It works well enough, and it keeps me sane and upright. But I wish I could just enjoy one night's sleep. If you could help me, we need a Clayman from Polythreme. We also need a mirror catch box, and we'll need to go to Hunter's Keep. I'll explain when we get there. No, I am serious. I would owe you a great deal. And so we can get mirror catch boxes from the Canet, and sometimes we can get them in Guider's Mourn. We can also get a Clayman from Polythreme, which we haven't found yet. But either way, we've got a couple of quests out in front of us, and so Central East Ocean is where we need to go to get his quest done. I assure you, his quest pays a lot, and so you kind of want to do it. It gives you a bunch of stuff. It gives you like 5 of each random item, and it's very, very useful if you're trying to do the quest where you compile a book for yourself. That's the most useful quest probably to do if you're trying to compile a book, because it gives you a big chunk of what you need to start off writing. Let's go south. I'll probably go and explore. We got a couple of crabs down there, and they're already on us. Let's maybe think about, I mean, we could fight them, I guess. But the problem with these little guys, let's turn off the lamp as well. I'm not that worried about our terror. Additionally, it makes it more difficult for them to see you. So in case you're wondering how that works, turning off the lamp makes it so it's harder for them. You see how they get a little question mark above their heads? That means they're trying to find you. Turn on the engines real quick. There we go. Speed it on up by throwing it on in there. We will go through fuel very, very quickly by doing so, but there was only a little bit left in there anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Engine temperature is still looking good, so we shouldn't have to worry about it blowing up on us or anything like that. I like it. Uses the Fahrenheit system, which from a European game is odd. I'd expect it maybe in Victorian times. It was before they swapped over to metric, maybe. That's what I'm wondering about. Could be the case. Let's go to Quaker's Haven real fast, and we'll get a port report. All right, so in Quaker's Haven, let's explore the shore. A glittering eye. It's this guy again. So I'm going to allow him to make me terrified again for another Tale of Terror, because if you could stack up 10, 15 of those things, you can get them going. It's weird that you get the same event twice in a row. That doesn't happen very often. We'll chat with the fisherman, obviously, to get ourselves a port report. Actually, I'm going to stay in port for right now. We got to wait for this crab to go the hell away. We could murder it. It's not that dangerous of a combatant, but meh. I'd rather not. We don't have any way to, like, repair our hull right now, so I'd rather not risk it. You're just going to stay right there, aren't you? You're going to be all up inside of our business. Huh. I've never seen them do that before. Usually there's like an invisible barrier right here that they hit, and then they have to turn around. Weird. Alright, well, Cumaean Canal is up next, so that's where we're going to head off to. I'm going to keep the lights off. We're already behind him, so... Oh, no, he's aware of us right there. Okay. So while he gets himself turned around, I'm actually just going to make for this little stone column over here. Turn the lights back on in the hopes that maybe we won't get too much terror. From here, we'll go off to the Cumaean Canal. And I don't know what our plan is. We're going to have to figure something out, because our cash is low. Our supplies are very, very low. And so, at this point in the game, there are a couple locations I would have liked to have found already. We do have a backup plan. At the end of the day, we can sell off some of the random supplementary items, like the tails from... Ooh, we're in a fog bank right now. That's fun. We may actually take a bunch of terror right here. Oh, and I took a wrong turn. Okay, well, let's just keep moving to the south. It's unfortunate. We just took a lot of unnecessary terror, and we wasted fuel going over there. But in the Cumaean Canal, maybe we'll end up with something lucky. So let's check in on it. Something awaits us back at port. Okay, that's pretty good. I think they slowed the game down a little bit too, because certain events that should have happened by now have not happened yet. And so either we skip them entirely, or they move them around in the timeline a little bit to make the game flow at a little bit less of a hurried pace. If we could outrun this little shit over here, we can make it into port and we should be alright. There it is. And we'll check to the east from here. We'll see what we can find. So into the harbor we go. We will listen for surface gossip. We got another move in the great game. That's actually pretty good. RNG doesn't like us with regards to the map assembly, but it likes us quite a bit with regards to the things we're picking up here. So, my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Sunless Sea. I'll see y'all next time, delicious viewer.